What is up, stream? Okay, okay. All right. Today, I'm going to be playing Fortnite, at least in a little bit. I'm waiting on my boy Tony. He's doing some stuff. In the meantime, I'm just going to be chatting a little bit, talking to myself mainly. But yeah. So, first off, I just got my haircut. It low-key doesn't look that good right now, but okay, it doesn't look really good at all on camera, but I promise it's good. It was a $20 haircut. And also, I got some cool hoodie. Some light. All right. I've been thinking, I've been debating on starting my own YouTube series where I flip computers for profit and then just record it. And I just wanted to show real quick the computers that I look. I have this one, which I'm going to sell very soon, hopefully. Right? It's a HP Pavilion, however the fuck you pronounce it. Um, yeah, it's an HP Pavilion, right? Inside, it's got a Ryzen 7, 1700, and 16 gigabytes of DDR4, 2x8 dual channel, and then it's got the what's it called? It's got a GTX 1050 Ti, and it's got a 500 gigabyte SSD, right? And I'm listing that for 250, and I've gotten some likes on it and stuff. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if you guys can see that. But here it is. We got 6 people who liked it. Right, I always like my own posts just to kind of, get it up there. Kind of my description, blah blah blah. Let's see, 1700, 1050 Ti, 16 gigabyte DDR4, 500 gigabyte. Just some little pictures of it. And then here's kind of where it's showing the specs. Right. Okay. So I got that one listed at 250. My hair's. Let me shave this. Okay, I got the PC for $100, right, off of Facebook Marketplace, because that's where I always buy my shit, because it's always cheap. And let's see, I bought it for 100, right? It came with the RAM and the CPU. I took out the hard drive because it was a hard drive inside, and that was like 1 terabyte. But I might as well, upgrade it. But I'm also lowering the storage, so I don't know if it's really that much of an upgrade. But I would much prefer. I would prefer a SSD, even if it's SATA SSD, because that's what it is. It's a SATA SSD, 2.5 inch, over a hard drive. And then it also had an RX 550 in it. I took that out and I upgraded it to a 1050 Ti, and it's not a one. The 1050 Ti is not one where it doesn't require external power. It does require external power, but the Pavilion, or however you pronounce it, it has the 6 pin PCI external power thingy mabob, and it's a 330 watt power supply, gold, 80 plus gold. So I slapped that boy in, and again, I got the 1050 Ti for 550. No, like for it was either 30 or $40 because originally I bought it for 40 or 50, and then I got a $10 discount because the buyer or seller had listed that it doesn't require external power, and I just asked for a $10 refund, and so, and then the SSD I got from actually this computer right here. It was another computer that I bought for $100. The specs aren't nearly as good. It's like a 4590 in there, Intel. Um, Again, it came with that 500 gigabyte SSD, and it came with the 16 gigabytes of DDR3 and whatnot. I'm not the proudest of that purchase. It's, you know, I definitely could have gotten it lower. I shouldn't have paid 100 for that. And then it's even like missing its front panel, so there's no front panel. And I tried listing it, but I don't think I'm gonna get my money's back, my money back. So I just took it. I'm just keeping it for parts basically, in case I get another system that takes DDR3 or whatever, or I get a motherboard for really cheap. Um, and then I got another computer yesterday. I got this bad boy for $30. It's an Optiplex 3060. Yeah, SFF, small form factor. Um, it's decent, but for $30, that's not bad. Now the problem is the motherboard is dead, so I can't really do anything with this computer. So what I did, let me see if I can open it real quick. Oh, this thing doesn't want to come out. Come on. There we go. So inside, this is the inside of a computer for anyone who's curious. I took out the CPU, right? Because it was an i5 8500, right? And I could sell that for $30 to make my money back if I really wanted to. But I think I'm gonna keep it for a little bit. I tried installing a graphics card as well, and that didn't work. I had a graphics card planned for this system if it did work, but unfortunately it did not. Back here is where the RAM's supposed to be. I took that out. It was just one stick, 8 gigabytes DDR4, I think 2666 megahertz, mega transfers. And then under this, there was a 256 gig SATA NVMe, or no, not NVMe, M.2 SSD. And I took that out. Again, there's no point in keeping it in the system if the motherboard is dead. I don't know what's wrong with the motherboard. And I don't really, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the motherboard. But I tested all the other parts, right? I tested this SSD, I tested the CPU, the RAM, everything worked in the system. So I took it all out. I have it stored. Yeah, I have it stored. That's pretty much it. I also took out some of the cables, and I might take out this power supply, which is why I'm keeping it. This power supply is decent, and I don't know if I ever get a system similar, I could always, and I get like a bad power supply, I could always switch it. And I know the motherboard is dead too because the power supply actually turns on, and I was getting like LEDs and stuff. So I'm incredibly confident that it is something to do with the motherboard. I even tried like reseating the CPU. I tried working RAM that I know for a fact is working, and none of that worked. Um, but yeah, so I might take out the power supply, but probably not right now. Okay, I'll put all of this together. But yeah, I also have a shit ton of supplies right here, right here. In this box, it's an old GPU and it has artifacting problems. There's not an actual RTX 3070 in there. I don't know if you can even read it from that far, but that is an RTX 3070. It wasn't for my computer, it was from my girlfriend's, so those of you who saw the build. Um, some other stuff I got over there is I got some RAM. I got two. Oh, okay. I got two kits of RAM. That was the word I was looking for. I'll go grab it in a second. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too. The hard drive that was in the pavilion thing, wow, is now in this computer. And that one, if I remember correctly, the hard drive is 7200 RPM. It's not horrible. And then this one, I also added a little 128 gigabyte SSD that I had from a previous computer that I got for free. Yeah, it's just boot up Windows a little quicker. All right, and so I got a legendary find. What was it? Yesterday or the day before that? Sorry. Okay. So I got an amazing gear. And so I got, let me see if I can find it in this. Okay. So first off, I got this RAM. It did not come in this packaging. I just have this packaging and it happens to be the exact same, right? Except it's not 3600 megahertz, it's 3200. So 3200, right? And these are working because I've tested it myself. Let's see if I can get them out. 32 gigabytes of 3200 Corsair RAM, right? And that's not it though. That is far from it. Next up, I got this. It's not this motherboard, but I just put in this box because I don't have another box to store this motherboard. Let's see if I can get it out real quick. Here it is. This entire motherboard as well. It's a G15CS. I looked it up. Apparently, it's some sort of proprietary board meant for pre-builts. I guess someone ripped it out of their build. Maybe they liked the case or whatever, right? Not only that, It also came with the CPU cooler. I just took it off. If I build a PC with this board, it's definitely gonna have a different, um, you know, different CPU cooler. Um, Also from what I could tell, I don't think there's any ARGB on this board. So kind of, if you don't have, yeah, there's no ARGB. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I got this board right, and then also you're not gonna be able to read it, but it is a i7 9700F. Right. I got this motherboard, the CPU, and the RAM, all for $150. $150 for all of that, which is insane. I could probably sell this motherboard and CPU and get half of that, basically, right? And I could sell the RAM by itself for like $100, and I've basically made profit. But I'm gonna keep this, right? I might use this as a test bench, honestly. And then here is the SATA M.2 that I was talking about. It's a 256 gigabytes, SK Hynix SC311. So it's not too good, but not too bad either, you know. And also the seller thankfully gave me a what do you call it? Why am I having a brain fart? An IO shield. There we go. Right. I'm actually not too sure which way it goes, but I assume this way. Right. IO shield. Boom. Well, again, I don't know if I'm going to be using this because I might use this board for a test bench. I just need a power supply. You'll be on soon? Okay. No worries, man. I'm just yapping. But, yeah. I got all of that. I have other stuff in this bag, too. Again, I'm just really happy about this deal that I got and stuff, you know. This one was literally a steal. Like, it was so good. I low-key thought I was gonna get scammed and stuff. If you were in the hood, which gang would you be? Blood or Crips? I'd make my own gang. And then I got all of this stuff. In here. I don't really have a proper bag for it, but it's fine. Pretty cheap GPU. It's a RX 430. Or it's called something else. I can't remember. It was like $20. I grabbed it just because I kind of like it. It's pretty small. Something I could use to, again, bench stuff. And here is the RX 550 that I ripped out of the pavilion thing, my bob. I was talking about earlier. And here is the wires. These are mainly like SATA cables. I mean, yeah, pretty much. One of these is also for something else. I ripped it out of that old, not this one, but there's another one that I was showing where I said the motherboard was there. I ripped that out. And here I just got my thermal paste. I reapplied thermal paste to the computer down here. You can't really see. The one that I'm selling. There's a toothbrush when I'm cleaning stuff. You know, put some isopropyl alcohol. In here, this is the it's kind of hard to see. The i5 8500 that I ripped out of the system. I put it in like a little container I had this container is from my girlfriend's CPU, which was a 12600 KF. Let me see. In here, so this is the single stick of RAM. It's 8 GB, 2666 megahertz. So it looks like that. Um, oh, forgot about. So I have two Wi-Fi adapters as well. They're both USB. You know, this one's a lot more beefy, a lot better. Wi-Fi 6 AX 1800 by Fenvi, dual band USB adapter. And then here is some cheap. It's EDUP. EDUP. 150 megabytes per second. I got it for free, so I'm not really complaining. Um, and then here I got my 32, no, sorry, 16 gigabyte DDR4, 3200 megahertz, mega transfers, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of hard to see, but the Ripjaw's pretty simplistic. Um, if I ever get like a really simple build, I'll just use it for that. They're pretty low too. Um, but yeah. Oh, give me 1 second. All right, my bad. I'm back. So yeah, those are all the parts that I have currently. I'm slowly growing my collection. I'm too broke to actually make anything out of these, so it's fine. I'll eventually have enough money to just build computers if I want. Make a little, kind of little business off of it or something. I don't know. Because so far I've just been getting computers and reselling them. Maybe adding some stuff to it, whatever. Okay. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything that I have. Actually, I do have one other thing. It's pretty big. Now, This one is huge. You can't even really see it. Let's see if I can. It's got the 3 fans in the front. Oh, you can't really see. Okay, but on the inside, we got 3 fans right here. We got 3 fans on the top, and then 1 fan right here. Right. I'm pretty sure these 3 are intake, these 3 are exhaust, and this one's also exhaust or something. But inside there's a 5700 XT. There's also special cables, as you can see, for the motherboard, the GPU, and the CPU. You can't really see it, but up there and then up there. Inside is a Ryzen 5 3600, pretty sure. But yeah, Ryzen 5 3600. There's 32 gigabytes of RAM. They're Corsair as well, 3200 megahertz. They're pretty much identical to the previous one. I just had those lying around from a previous um, sale. And then right here, CPU cooler. It's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see the CPU cooler right there. But that one, it's like a IEST ID cooling or something like that. I just like the look of it. It looks really clean. This whole build is completely red. It's as you can tell, this is the case, right? So who made it? The GPU again, 5700 XT. There's a little logo. It's a sapphire as well. It glows red when it's turned on and everything. Even like the motherboard has like underglow. I can't remember what the motherboard is in this thing. Trying to remember. I don't know. It's something. I know it supports up to the 5000 series CPUs as well. So it's pretty high end. But I got this whole thing for 330, right? On Facebook Marketplace. But the difference was um it had a different cooler. It had the stock cooler. I changed that out because the stock cooler isn't really that good at cooling, and I was noticing that when I was testing. And the other thing I changed that you can't really see, but in the back there's an ARGB hub. Before, these 3 fans up here were daisy chained, as well as this one. This one was also connected to all 3 fans. So all 4 of these fans were connected to a single thing, and it wasn't even plugged in either to the ARGB thing. It was just connected to the fan hub up here somewhere. Um, but yeah, I was like, I don't want to do that. So I decided to, first off, I plugged the ARGB header into like the ARGB thing. It's like up here somewhere. I know like the quality is really ass. You can't really tell. Um, but yeah, it's like up there somewhere. And these 3, all 4 of the fans do work, right? They all have RGB and whatever. Now, something, if you've been listening or watching or whatever, you might have realized that these 3 fans are they're missing. I haven't talked about them turning on or anything, and that is because these 3 fans are missing a cord, and it's not as simple as just plugging it in to like a ARGB hub. And the main reason for that is The fans, the connectors are 6 pin. They combine the 4 pin for the fans with the 3 pin or something like that with the ARGB. And I ordered some I ordered something for those. It's like a connector, whatever. It's 6 pin to the fan pin and the ARGB pin. And then again, I this one already these 4 fans already have one, so I just need to get ones for these 3 fans here. But yeah, everything else is connected, right? These 4 fans all connected to one, 2 pin splitter thing, and they're connected to the AirGB hub in the back of this computer. Same with this CPU fan that's connected to the back of the computer. It's a Thermalright CPU, or not CPU, AirGB hub, whatever. It's pretty cheap on Amazon. It was only like $10, something like that. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, I mean everything's connected. I did my best to wire manage. I'm not the best at wire management, which is why I like these office PCs so much more because the wires are just there is no real wire management when it comes to those. Um, but yeah, this one again 330. I bought the CPU cooler for 20 ish bucks. Um, I bought the AirGB hub for like $10, and I bought that splitter cord thing for like 15 ish. So that was like about 50 ish dollars added on to the 330 for the entire computer. The way for the entire computer. I also bought thermal paste, but I wouldn't really include that into the build cost because I'm gonna use that thermal paste for other stuff. Um, I did repaste it twice because I am stupid. It's a long story. Um, but yeah, again, I'm just waiting for a cord for that computer. I have no idea how long it's gonna take because it's coming from China apparently. That could, and I looked it online, and it could take anywhere from like 2 to like 7 weeks or something crazy. And I ordered it like about a week ago. I'm hoping that it comes soon. Once it does come, I'm gonna list that for 600, right? And if it does sell for 600, that's $200 profit. So that will definitely be my biggest sell, not including my old gaming PC that I owned for about 5 years. This one I actually just bought just to flip it. And again, if it sells for 600, that would be amazing. I've been looking online at the Facebook Marketplace. I think 600 is pretty reasonable. If not, 550. Again, at the very least, maybe 500. But I think this will sell for 600 because of all the ARGB and the fact that it has good aesthetics, and it is also upgradable to a 5000 series CPU. And again, the GPU isn't horrible either. I think it has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, so again, it's not horrible. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Again, I'm hoping to sell this for 600, make about $200 profit ish. Same thing with the computer, the Pavilion one down there. I spent about 150 ish. I'm hoping to sell it for like 250, $100 profit. Um, and then yeah, I have all those other parts. I might go on Amazon and just buy like a test bench. One of those cheap ones for that motherboard that I was showing earlier. Um, Let me see. Again, I'll probably throw in that 8 gigabyte stick into that testing bench because again, it's just a test bench. I don't need much RAM or anything. Unless like I am testing like a CPU or something. Um, Maybe in the future, I don't know, because I do kind of want to test the difference between like the 8500 and the 9700F. Um, not including like the integrated graphics, shenanigans, whatever. Um, but yeah, I do have some other supplies up here too. I got the air blower, and then up here I got some black nitrile gloves. This one, oh wait, that's the same box. Um, over here on top of my vinyl player is like a tray with all my screws in it. I'm hoping that once I move rooms with my grandmother, I'll have a little more space, more desk space, because right now my I have pretty much zero desk space, like at all, bro. Like, see, don't mind the cookies. But yeah, I have like no desk space. Even like behind here, there's not a whole lot of space. I mean, yeah, I could push my monitors back, but I don't know. I like them to be pretty close. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. Why I haven't been streaming. What's with the TV on the floor? Um, basically when I have my girlfriend come over, when I pick her up and stuff and we hang out, I use that TV to just watch TV, but we don't really do that anymore. Now we just sit on my monitor and watch TV. Um, oh fuck. I have no idea what this guy is saying. But welcome. I'm glad that I got some new chatters. That is surprising. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I was just yapping to myself for the past like 30 minutes, so. What's up? Damn, why am I getting so many new chatters? What is going on? I'm doing good. What about you? Thank you for asking. I've just been chilling today. I actually got a haircut today, you know. Some light. I'm going mainstream. I wish, bro. I wish. If I could go mainstream, whew, I would love not to work. I love being unemployed. But yeah, I mean, maybe. We'll see. If I could go mainstream, maybe I might start making like YouTube videos on my Facebook flip uh career or whatever. My streaming, I mean, it's been okay. If you're talking about this stream, I mean, this stream I haven't really been doing anything. Just been talking. I'm waiting for my boy Tony to hop on. But streaming in general, I haven't been the most active. Mainly because I've been buying computers and stuff and trying to resell them. That's pretty much it. I'm a little busy too. I'm in college and stuff, so I don't got a whole lot of time. Though I could definitely time manage a lot better. Um, yeah, thank you. Do I play any video games? Yeah, I play a bunch of video games. Um, I play a lot of Fortnite. I mean, not as much as I used to. I'm a little burnt out from Fortnite, but I only really hop on Fortnite if I have friends who are also playing, or if I'm just like, I don't know, new event, something to grind, whatever. Um, I play a lot of Valorant as well. I know it's kind of corny, but you know, it, I just find it enjoyable. Um, I also play Apex Legends. I've been playing that a lot recently just to get to Masters rank. But I mean, other than that, I don't really play a whole lot of other video games. More of a more of an FPS kind of person. But sometimes I'll play some other video games, like either with my girlfriend or stuff like that. Um, my stream schedule, I mean, I don't really have one right now. I need to get one. It's complicated. I never really stream on the weekends though. But I try to stream daily on the week, during the week at least. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know where all this kindness came out of, but I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I'm uh I'm definitely going to try to stream a little more. Especially if I get some attention like this, I would love to stream more. It's just, you know, a little unmotivating. I'm from the US, specifically like Texas. You know, not it's not too great over here, but you know, I would love to live somewhere else, but you know, I'm not old enough to move out. I Neither do I have the money. Money's crazy. You're from Virginia. I actually want to move to Virginia with my girlfriend. We've been talking about that. She used to live there. She tells me it's like really pretty over there and stuff. And I would love to go visit over there or live over there. But again, that's like way in the future when I have money, when we have money. That's not going to be for a while because, you know, prices. You know, but yeah. From the southern neighbor NC? What does that mean? My bad. I'm a little slow. Uh I appreciate the compliments, but oh, North Carolina, that makes sense. I appreciate the compliments, but I don't have the money right now to add any graphics, nor am I taking this like super seriously, you know, this whole streaming thing. Right now I'm just it's more of just like a hobby, something I do for fun. And also, you know, record my moments with my friends. It's not really anything like I'm taking too seriously. I appreciate the compliment though and the kindness. I I literally have no money, man. I'm sorry. And also, you know, I gotta save up money as well. I got like I still need to buy like more computers off of like Facebook and stuff. I need to like make money basically. And also, you know, I have a girlfriend. I I buy stuff for her. I buy food for her, you know, all that stuff. So I don't really have any money to spare. I spent like one of my only $20 on like a haircut. Having luck with reselling computers? Yeah. Um a while ago, like a couple weeks ago, I bought it's actually the same computer. It's not that one, but it's like an Optiplex 3060. It's some sort of like work computer. I added a GPU for it to it. I paid like 130 total for everything, and I sold it for about 250 ish. So, man, I'm sorry. I it's fine. I again, I can't really spare any money. I'm sorry. Also, I'm fine with the channel logo that I have now, or profile, whatever. Again, I apologize. I don't have any money. I don't have money to like kind of give like that. You know what I mean? The think stations. I know this computer right here is a think station. Hold on, let me go check. I'm not 100% sure if it's a think station, but I know that's Lenovo, right? But I haven't really been finding any on like Facebook Marketplace. I just mainly buy like those really cheap ones for like $100. And then I add like a GPU, maybe some RAM or whatever, and then I just resell it. Like this one, it's a HP, the Pavilion, or how do we pronounce it? You know, I love these ones. These ones are also really good, but they're expensive. But yeah, yeah, I I know they have good deals on eBay. It's just the tax and the shipping is what like really kills it for me. I just mostly stick to marketplace. Um, but yeah, like that pavilion that I got for 100, it was $100. It's got a 1700, Ryzen 1700. It's got like it had a RX 550 or something. I replaced that with a 1050 Ti. I added 500 gigabyte SATA SSD. I took out the storage that was in it before. It was like a terabyte hard drive. But yeah, I sold, or I haven't sold it yet, but the total build cost was about 150. I'm selling it for 250, and I got hella people interested in it right now. I'm hoping to sell it hopefully this week or next week. And like I got another one for $30. Like I got this bad boy. This one was $30. It's kind of hard to see, but it's an Optiplex 3060. Yeah. I mean, the ThinkStations are really good. They're just a little more pricey for what I have. At least the money I have right now. Again, again, this one literally $30, and it came with a monitor, and it came with like a mouse and keyboard and stuff. So if you're keeping your eye out, you can find some pretty good deals on Facebook Marketplace. The only thing that's bad about this though is the motherboard is dead. But thankfully, I had a spare motherboard that I was able to test the CPU and the RAM and the storage, and everything else works fine. It's just this computer is dead, but for $30, you know, yeah. Again, Optiplex. Like I personally try to look for the systems that have like a 6th gen Intel CPU or better, because those usually take DDR4, maybe DDR3, and those ones are a lot easier to flip because if it's like 4th gen or anything, then it's you know. Mm, yeah, uh, yeah, the ThinkStations are really good. I think the two best like desktop PCs are ThinkStation and the HP Pavilions. How do you how do you blow up your power supply, bro? Kind of GPU were you using? Was using that much power? Holy! I don't think I've ever had a power supply blow up on me. But you know, I'm telling you, those HP pavilions, those are so good. Especially because a lot of them have the as a power supply that comes with the PCIe adapter. So you don't have to use one of those GPUs that don't have external power. You can use one that has like a 6 pin and you just plug it in. That's what I did with that computer that I showed earlier. It has a 1050 Ti in it. Damn. I've never had that happen to me. You must have had like a really old Optiplex, like probably like a 3020 or something, or like a 9020, 9010, something like a fourth or third gen CPU. Because I've never had that happen. Even on like, can't really see it, but it's right there. This one has a fourth gen CPU. Yeah, I personally always try to avoid the 9020s, the 3020s, the again anything that's like fourth gen or lower. I just avoid because those are really bad performance, and I'm only willing to spend about maybe $20 to $30 on those. They're just not that worth it. Like the 3060s, those are like the sweet spot because they're cheap and they have an 8th gen CPU most of the time. And even if it's 7th gen, you can usually upgrade them to an 8th gen, which is why I love those. And then same thing with the HP Pavilion. Like if I wanted to, I could add a 2700 CPU into there, right? Increase the performance, get it onto Windows 11. Hey, I mean, if you got a question or if you want my opinion on something, feel free. I'm I'm all ears. If you need advice or something on computers, I can try to give you some advice. I'm just not the, you know, I'm not an expert or anything. I'm just recently got into it about half a year ago. And I've had this interest in computers ever since. And then like again, I have this other computer that I have right next to me that you can't really see, but I showed earlier in the stream. It's the one that was on my bed. That one I $400 total, right? And I'm probably gonna sell it for like 600 or something. Hopefully, maybe 500 at the minimum, but we'll see. What would be a good GPU to buy? Um, from the RX 580, something I really like is the 1660 Ti. It depends on your budget. And also like what, because I don't know what connectors you have, you know what I mean? Because some GPUs have different connectors. There's like 6 pin, there's 8 pin, there's 16 pin, there's, I think this one down here, it's a 5700 XT, and that one has like 8 pin plus another 6 pin needed for the GPU. It depends, like on your budget and also your power supply. You have double 8 pins. Um, I mean, I guess. Hmm. Because if you have a ThinkStation, those are pretty small, right? If I remember it correctly. Let me see. If you have like a smaller one, um, huh. I don't know. It's a tough question. Oh, you got the tower. Okay. If you have a shit ton of space in there, you could go for something pretty heavy. And this is just from my experience. I was able to get in a 3070. Actually, the box is right here. I was able to get a 3070 for $200. That's pretty good. Um, Also like some of the ARC cards, like a I think like a B580, I think takes 8 pin if I'm not mistaken. It also depends on your power supply as well. If your power supply is too low, it's not going to be able to power these cards. And then, if you just want something more simpler or just something you can just plug in without even needing to like plug in the PCIe cables, you could always get like an RTX 3050. Those ones don't require the external power, but those aren't the most powerful. I wouldn't exactly recommend it because you have a power supply. It has some power to spare. 900 watts? God damn. Okay. Well, if you have 900 watts, you could basically get any GPU that you want, honestly. In fact, like my computer right now that I'm running this on, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a 9800 X3D in there and there's a 9070 XT. And I got 1,000 watt power supply for that computer. So 900 are, yeah. Maybe I'll look on eBay. Maybe a little harder on like Facebook Marketplace. Because again, I always like to look on Facebook Marketplace because you can get some systems for cheap, bro. Like I'm telling you. Again, $30 for that 3060 was crazy for the Optiplex 3060, not a GPU. But like if I find any ThinkStations that are around 100 to $150 that got like the good CPUs, then yeah, I'll definitely snag those. I don't really have money right now though, unfortunately. I would love to get one of those ThinkStations. I know they're really good for like budget builds. That's what I usually do is I make budget builds and then I resell them for about 100 to $150 more just to make some profit. And I repaste them and everything and I clean them to the best of my ability. So I don't just, you know, you know. But yeah, yeah. I know there's some Xeons that like perform incredibly well. There's this one CPU and it's like $10 on like eBay or something like that, or 20 or something, and it performs almost as well as like an i5 12400F, a 12th gen CPU. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Can't remember. But like those people sleep on them. I can't lie. But yeah, I need to invest in that in a ThinkStation. I think that's probably where I'll make some good money. I just gotta hope. The problem is again, like a lot of people also buy the ThinkStations and then they just kind of keep them, or maybe they just build their own budget system. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Um, Let me see right now, because again, I don't think. Hmm. Um, I don't think like Facebook Marketplace has any of these ThinkStations. Yeah, $500, $300, and that's for a 7th gen CPU. $300. This one's like not even. This one's literally just parts for the case. 200, another 200. Yeah. PC server and parts. Let me look that up. Oh shit. I forgot. I need to go do something. All right, I will be right back. I'll put that right there. My bad. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. All right, my bad. I'm back for a second. My family's getting groceries, and I thought they were back, but I guess not. But yeah, let me look up PC server and parts. I'm not exactly sure how to like look up the seller. Mm. Oh, there we go. I found them. Yeah, Lenovo workstations. Those are what I want. Ooh, for 150? Damn. You were right. Oh wait, that has no hard drive though. Hmm. $5,000. God damn. I mean, they're okay. Prices aren't like amazing. Yeah. I know that's where, you know, that's why it's good. But for me, I like just buying like I said, like an Optiplex system online because, again, it usually comes with the SSD, like an actual NVMe. If not, then it comes with like a hard drive. Usually it's a higher end hard drive. Um, obviously they don't come with GPUs, but that's fine. You could always just find some cheap one. And then obviously like the CPU, and most of the time it also comes with like 16 gigabytes of RAM. So I don't know. For me, I just don't have money either to buy like either an NVMe or a SATA SSD because those things are like really expensive. I just usually I like my storage. I get it from or yeah, my storage like the SSDs, hard drives, whatever. I get those from like other parts from computers. So for example, like this computer that I have down here to my left, I guess you're right. It came with the 2 terabyte SATA SSD, which is not bad at all, right? And again, this computer, it came with the 500 gigabyte SSD, but instead of using it for this 4th gen Intel CPU, I took it out and I put it in the HP Pavilion, because again, that one needs that more than this system. This system is just kind of junk. Nobody's really gonna want this system, especially since it's missing a whole goddamn side panel. And then again, like I have a 128 SATA SSD, and then also like a 1 terabyte hard drive. But I'm gonna use those to put in like some other build. The parts that are just junk, I keep them. You know, like you never know if I find a system, right, that I really like or whatever, or I think I can flip really easily. I could just get that system. Maybe it has like a slightly weaker CPU or something. I could slap in, the slightly more powerful CPU. Or maybe it has only 8 gigabytes of RAM but 4 slots. I could slap in the 16 gigabytes of like DDR3, right? Assuming this is like a DDR3 platform. And then again, I just keep the parts just in case. If I don't have anything to do with them, then I just sell them for pretty cheap on Facebook Marketplace, because I don't really have any use for them at that point. Or like sometimes I'll use it for like a test bench, like I got a motherboard. I mean, this one, it wasn't really like junk or anything. Um but I got a motherboard here. This isn't the motherboard, like the box. Um this is just what I use for my girlfriend's PC. But here I got really lucky actually. And again, this is another reason why I love Facebook Marketplace for buying shit. I got a motherboard, a CPU, and that CPU was a 9700F. I don't know what this motherboard is. It's some sort of proprietary motherboard or something. Again, I got the motherboard, the 9700F, and the and RAM, 32 gigabytes of Corsair RAM, right? The one with the RGB. Oh, excuse me, with the RGB on the top. 32 gigabytes, 2 sticks, 16 gigabytes each, at 3200 megahertz, whatever, mega transfers. And I got all of that for $150, which was an insane deal. But I plan on using this motherboard for mainly testing, like GPUs and stuff. I just I don't have any space on my desk right now to get like a dedicated like open air bench and stuff. Bro, I'm telling you, it is so good on Facebook Marketplace. A while ago, when I was buying RAM for my girlfriend's PC, um, there was this guy, and I needed RAM. I needed DDR4, right? And he was selling Corsair RAM as well. It was the exact same as the one I just got. Um, I could show you the original packaging too. And in here I have like a whole bunch of other parts, but main one is this right here. Oh, wrong way. This is what the guy gave me, right? And this was for 120 for 32 gigabytes at 32, or no, it was 3600 megahertz, right? And I was paying 120, I think. And I was talking to the guy, and he actually gave me his other kit of RAM for free, completely for free. It was another 32 gigabytes of RAM, of Corsair RAM. That one was clocked at 3200 megahertz. So I got 64 gigabytes in total, two kind of different kits. They were both Corsair. I got them both for 120. It was a crazy deal. I got so lucky. I it's not really luck. It's just kind of, well, I guess the RAM one was lucky, but the motherboard with the RAM with the CPU, that one I just, as long as you're constantly checking Facebook Marketplace for those like updates or people posting shit, um you know, yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. You can find some people who will sell their computers for really cheap. There was this guy who was selling his computer, right? He said the only thing was broken was the GPU, and he was selling it for $70, and it was like, I think like a Ryzen 3 3600 CPU or something. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't have enough money, so unfortunately someone else took it. But again, same thing with like the Optiplex 3060 that I had back there. I got that for $30, and it came with a monitor and a mouse and keyboard. Like you just, as long as you're constantly looking, you can find incredibly good deals. And also like offering around $50 to $100 can also help a lot. It Same thing with the previous system I had. Again, it was an Optiplex 3060. It had like a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD. It had an 8500, 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR4, and I added in RX 6400, which I got for really cheap. Um, Again, that I spent 130 on that entire computer. I didn't even repaste it at the time. I sold it for 250, and the guy gives me his old computer for free, completely for free. And it wasn't like anything crazy, it was just it was an FX CPU or something like that. Like a FX 9320, something like that. But I said, "Sure, bro." It wasn't even a trade cuz he paid me full price for the computer that I sold him. I had it listed at 250. Um Again, I spent 130 on it. I had it listed at 250. He paid the full 250, or he only had 20, so I took 240. But again, he gave me his old computer cuz he said he had no use for it. I got it completely for free. And then guess what? I sold that computer too. I took out the storage of it though cuz I wanted to keep that. But everything else, I just sold cuz I had no use for it, and especially since it's an FX CPU, there's no point in me keeping it. I also took out the GPU as well, but the GPU had problems at artifacting. Again, I sold that computer though, the free one that I got, for $100. So in reality, I made like 200-ish dollar profit just from that computer, just from the Optiplex 3060 system with an RX 6400. All of that, just just those two that I bought separately, $250 plus another 100 from the free system that he gave me, or I guess 240, whatever. Again, it was a crazy deal. What's hold that thought. Okay, I actually gotta go help with the groceries this time. I will be right back. I will answer your question though when I get back. I promise. bad, man. I apologize. I just, helping around the house. All right. I don't know if you're still here, but the most expensive computer that I've sold, um, it wasn't necessarily something that I bought to resell. It was my old gaming PC. So my old gaming PC was an Alienware system, and I had owned it for about 5 years. I bought it in like 2020 or something, 2019. Can't remember, but the specs on it were 11700F. It had a 3070. Um, it had 1 terabyte of NVMe, 1 terabyte NVMe storage. I can't remember what the power supply was, but I think it was pretty big. Like five, no, like 600, 650, maybe 700. Can't remember. Hmm. Trying to remember the other specs. It had 16 gigabytes of RAM, right? Which is pretty good, except for the fact that it was only one stick of RAM of 16 gigabyte DDR4 RAM. So that one was really ass. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to remember if I'm missing anything. But it was okay. I mean, it wasn't horrible. But definitely my biggest bottleneck was the RAM, because having single channel RAM on a DDR4 platform is genuinely horrible. You just cannot. You're dropping like 50 to 100 FPS depending on your specs if you don't have dual channel RAM. But yeah, it was okay. Yeah, you could tell that's where they cheaped out, was on the RAM, single stick. So again, it was okay. I mean, I didn't really do much. I mean, I did do much. I played a lot of games, and it was very frustrating playing on single channel RAM. But around 6 months before I sold it, I decided to get some RAM for it, and this was when RAM prices increased. But luckily, someone was selling 32 gigs of DDR4 for like 80 bucks. I think I paid 80 bucks or 90 or something like that. So it wasn't a horrible deal. I upgraded it, and the performance was crazy. I was getting like 150 FPS on Fortnite, right? And you would think like an 11700F paired with the RTX 3070, you'd be getting like crazy FPS. Nah, I was getting 150, and even then, the 1% lows were so bad. Like it was genuinely unbearable. And then I upgraded to 32 gigabytes. Again for 85 bucks, whatever, 90 bucks. And it was night and day. Like I was getting 200 plus FPS, and it was so much more consistent. It was crazy. And that whole system, even after I upgraded it and stuff with the new RAM and stuff, I sold the entire computer for. I had it listed, I think, at 700, and I sold it for 650, or maybe I had it listed at 650 and I sold it for 600. I can't remember. But once I sold it, I used that money to buy my girlfriend a brand new computer. Yeah. God damn it. Okay. I gotta go. Thank you, Mars Gaming Zero. I don't know who you are, but I like you, man. Thank you for talking to me, for sitting in my stream and chatting. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I gotta go. I'm sorry, man. But if you have any questions or whatever, just let me know. I can try to help you. I'm not the most experienced, but you know. All right. Goodbye, Mars Gaming Zero. Goodbye, stream, and goodbye, YouTube.